Welcome to the Test and Fix Water for Kids Next Steps for Childcare Programs video. Here on the Test and Fix Water for Kids website, we have a lot of information and guidance available. You can read more about the program, and we have a special link just for childcare centers. If you click on this link, you can see step 1, enrollment. I represent a childcare center. If you haven't enrolled, click on this button so that we can get you enrolled in our program and get you set up for step 2, ordering your sampling kit. In this video, we will be going over creating a floor plan so that you are ready to order your sample kit when you get the invitation after enrollment. Here you can see the sampling plan guidance button is the presentation that we will be going over. You can click and download this presentation. Now, once you've enrolled, you can prepare by getting your form facility plan ready. And that's what we'll be going over now. So the goal now, before we get you sorted out with your free sampling kit, is we need you to make a sampling plan. The sampling plan provides the information needed to create the sampling kits that will include the number of bottles you need, pre-labeled sticker labels to put on these bottles, and a return shipping label. So all of this is provided to you at no cost. And to get you going, we'll need you to do a floor plan. And so that's what we see on this slide. On our next slide, you can see that we've asked you to find and print a floor plan, one that you can annotate to ultimately create a sampling plan. Now, your facility floor plan doesn't have to be anything too technical. It could be a fire escape plan, or if you have a building layout available, you can print that out too. If you don't have anything available, we've even seen some facilities draw out their floor plans. Once you have a floor plan, we ask that you identify where the water enters your building, the service line, and draw that on your floor plan. This is an important step to determining the general flow of water through the building. If you have any questions or need help identifying that location, please reach out to our technical assistance team. When you go through the process of identifying your sample locations, it will help you number the locations in the order that they need to be collected. So following EPA guidance, we need to sample closest to the service line and then work away. The goal is that we collect a sample that has been sitting in the plumbing for at least 8 hours, and ideally not longer than 18 hours. That 8 to 18 hour time frame allows time for corrosion and a reaction to occur in the piping, so that if there is a presence of lead, we would be able to sample and identify with that sample collection. Now, if you sampled starting at the end of your service line, theoretically, you would be flushing fresh water through that plumbing each time you sampled. And so you wouldn't necessarily get that 8 to 18 hour scenario. So again, we want you to think about your building and what the general flow of water going through the building is. Now you can see here, we've drawn a big blue line. There's really no right or wrong way of how you would visualize this. On our next slide, once you have an idea of where your service line enters and what the general flow of water through the building is, we ask in step 3 to mark your drinking water locations. Now, to do this, you need to physically walk through your facility. And as you do, you can mark on your floor plan in blue to identify all fixtures where there is a practical or reasonable expectation that children will be drinking from that fixture. So we want you to think about locations used for drinking or cooking. So keep in mind kitchens or sources that are used for making or preparing food. If you share a building, or if you're inside a building, for example, a rec center, you'll want to make sure you're only testing the locations that your childcare program is licensed to use. We have for reference here a table with codes for the fixtures in the drop-down box. So these are the options as you're annotating your floor plan. You can see we've identified drinking water fountains with a DW, KFs for kitchen faucet. Now, if you have any fixtures you know have a filter on them, so this could be a drinking water fountain, or if you have any water bottle filling stations that you know are filtered, go ahead and put a star next to those fixtures to identify that they have a filter. If we find results at these filtered locations, it could mean possibly A, that it's not actually certified to remove lead, and we would then fix that by making sure you have an appropriate filter, or B, that the filter just needs to be replaced, and then we could discuss setting up steps for a maintenance schedule. On our next slide, we have some images here to help you visualize common fixtures. We have an example of a dual drinking water fountain where they're combined. And so in this situation, we need to check each side of that fountain. So we would list the left side of that bubbler and then the right side bubbler of that fountain. And those would be two sources that you would test on that dual fountain. Also at the bottom, we have a bottle filling station. You'll want to test each of those sources, which means we would collect a sample under the bottle filler, and then you would also sample at that fountain that's attached to the bottle filler. We also have a picture of kitchen kettles. This is a commercial kitchen kettle, and we have specific sampling guidance. So if you have one of these at your facility, please reach out so we can share that guidance with you. Also, we have ice machines. Please reach out if you have an ice machine. We have sampling guidance for those as well. On this slide, you'll notice that we have listed bathroom faucets. Do I need to check every bathroom faucet at my facility? Well, this will depend case by case. If your facility culture is to fill up water from your bathroom faucets, then you will want to list those locations. If your bathroom faucets are for hand washing only, then that is not considered a source of consumption and you will not need to list and test. Moving on to step 4, once you've identified all of your drinking water sources with their appropriate codes on your floor plan, we ask that you try your best to draw the general plumbing lines on your floor plan. Now you may know these, or they may be on your floor plan, which is great. If you don't know how the plumbing goes through your building, just try to the best of your ability to visualize how that water is flowing and draw on your floor plan. So in this situation, we didn't know how the plumbing was going through the building, so we followed the hallway walls, and that's how we draw these blue lines. And in general, plumbing will follow the walls in your building. On our next slide, our instructions try to help you divide your building into sections so that you have a more manageable area of your building for numbering each location, and then for easy data entry into our tool, which creates the sampling plan. So we have here an example with 2 sections for the facility. Now maybe yours will need more sections, or perhaps one will suffice. Again, there is no right or wrong way. The point of breaking up your building into specific sections of drinking water locations is for the ease of walking through the building to those sampling points and for the ease of uploading them into our tool. We ask that once you create your sections to keep in mind the general flow of water going away from your service line. So here we can see our sections are numbering closest to the service line, 1 is closest, and then 2 is further away. On our next slide, once you have your sections, you can then just number each drinking water location within the section. So here in section 1, closest to the service line, we'll now start sampling closest to the service line and number away so that the last number in the section is the furthest away from the service line. You would continue numbering like this through each section, going closest to farthest. You'll repeat these steps for any additional floors that you may have. In general, that flow will be the same for whichever floor you're on. And keep in mind there are riser pipes that will take water up through the floors or down to the basement. We just want to make sure we start sampling on the floor that has the service line entering it, and then work up if you have floors above that, and then work down. On our final slide, we have a screenshot of our sampling plan creation tool. So here we've taken our annotated floor plan and we've used it to enter each of our identified drinking water locations into this tool. So you can see here for a childcare center, I've entered each fixture with their appropriate code in their appropriate section. Now from here, with this information that you enter from your floor plan, this will create a sampling plan for you that lists all of your drinking water locations in the order that they need to be collected. It'll also create the labels for you that come on a pre-labeled sticker sheet. And then also this comes with the number of bottles that you've indicated to sample. So this sampling kit will come shipped to you from the state lab. So once you fill this tool out, your sampling plan kit will get created. And we will review and submit that order for you and send you a confirmation. Now, once that kit comes, you will have that number of bottles, the sticker labels, and you will get what's called a chain of custody, which we will go over. Now we will take you through a live example of using the sampling plan creation tool. So once you've completed step 1 and enrolled, we will get the necessary information to coordinate with you in email to invite you to create this plan. Once you get the email, it will land you here. Please read through and continue to part 1. It will ask you to go through the same presentation that we just completed. So make sure you click through. And then once you've completed that, it'll allow you to continue to part 2. Here you should be able to choose from the drop down your county and your facility ID. We'll just use an example for now. Make sure to confirm that that is the facility address. Here you'll enter in all of your information for the kit that you want sent. So make sure that you fill in each of these fields. We'll go through and quickly fill out some examples for you. Now, this tool does not save your work, so come to this tool ready to enter all of your locations at that time. If you X out of this, we do not have your work saved. So as you can see here, we're entering section 1, our fixtures, and in each of these boxes, it needs to be a unique identifier. If there are any duplicates, the tool will not let you move forward. You can see here that we have selected stars to indicate that these fixtures have filters. You can add as many sections, floors as you need, and you can drag and drop between them if for some reason you had an error in entry. Once you've completed uploading your locations, please review that they're in the correct order from your floor plan. Make sure that you have no duplicates. And then you can scroll down to confirm. 1, all of the above fixtures are used for drinking or cooking in some way. I have not included any outdoor water play spigots, hand washing only sinks, or other fixtures that do not provide drinking or cooking water. And 2, you need to check if my child care center is in a larger building. I have only included sample locations that are used by my child care program. I have not included faucets in the larger building, such as a church or rec center, that do not belong to the child care center. So you can remove any fixtures that do not meet those requirements by pressing the X next to that fixture. Once you've confirmed that these locations are good, you can move to part 4, where you'll confirm the address that you want your kit mailed to. So this may be different than your actual facility's physical address. So here's an opportunity to edit that. Once you've submitted your completed form, that will initiate the process of getting your sampling kit ready and mailed to you. Once we have submitted your bottle order, we will email you confirming that it's on its way, and you can expect that to arrive within a couple of weeks. When your sample kit arrives, you will receive instructions on how to take your samples, pre-labeled sticker labels, a return shipping label, and this chain of custody form you see here. This chain of custody form is a legal document that gets sent back to the state lab, and so we want to give you some tips on how to complete it successfully. So you can see in number 1, we have the collector listed as Walt Disney. However, Walt was unable to take the samples, so Snow White did. Please make sure to write down the actual collector in the name field. And then in number 2, you can see we've crossed out Walt all the way down the column and wrote in Snow White's name. In number 3, you can see we have a date and time box. Each sample needs to have the date and time that's associated with its barcode recorded in these boxes. If we don't have a record in that box, we will have to reach out to you to confirm what time your sample was taken. You can also see in number 4, notes. As you're walking your floor plan and taking your samples, please make sure if you have any notes that you want to take to write them on your sampling plan and not on this chain of custody form. Any notes on the chain of custody form may require follow-up. You can see that we crossed out sample number 4 and wrote sample not collected. You can write that in, just please give us a reason of why the sample was not collected so that we don't need to call and follow up. On number 5, you can see the signature of collector line needs a date and a time, so make sure to put the time that you signed. Also, make sure it's on the signature of collector line, not on the received by line. And so those are some common mistakes that we've seen. If you're going through and sampling and you realize that you forgot a location, please email us. We will manually generate an extra bottle order for you. The lab will not accept new sample location changes on the chain of custody that are not on your sampling plan. If you have any more questions regarding sampling locations, procedures, the timeline, or need any other help or technical assistance, please reach out to us at our email address or call our technical assistance hotline.